So Atomos did send me the Atomos Shogun Connect, specifically for this movie that I'm working on. I make sure and you'll be kind of like seeing like a little bit of BTS of me actually using this monitor on set. Now, with Atomos sending me this product, it does not mean that I have to talk about this product in a positive light at all, right? I am going to give you all my true, full, honest opinion about it, my pros, my cons, and let you all make the decision for yourself if this monitor is for you, right? Because my cons may not be your cons, and my pros may not be your pros. However, I feel like it is a job. You and I have a relationship right now. The viewer behind this camera, for me to be truthful and for you to have faith in what I'm saying. So all I'm asking is for you all to have faith and take what I'm saying and apply it to your own personal use case. Okay? Let's get straight into it. First thing I'm gonna do is list off all the pros for this monitor because there are a few pros that I think will actually benefit, change your workflow, if you will, for those who do not have a recorder and a monitor, maybe somebody who's looking for something like this. I'm gonna give you all the pros that I noticed for how I use it, and to kind of give you an idea how I use it. Well, we're using it in a specific use case right here. I use this to film a movie. We've only done part 1 of the movie, and then we're gonna do part 2 on a couple of weekends coming up. But I just used it this past weekend, and I definitely have some takeaways that I think is very important for you all to know about the specific monitor. So, number 1, first pro is going to be C2C, also known as Camera to Cloud. Now, for those who aren't aware, Camera to Cloud essentially is you being able to record something, then this monitor sending proxy files up to the cloud so your editor can edit them in a very quick fashion, right? So it sends 8-bit proxy files, but you can record in 4K, 1080p, whichever you see fit, right? That's what this is for. So if you're somebody who's on like a lot of film projects, a lot of indie projects, and you have an editor who wants to be able to get things done right away or to kind of put a grade on it to kind of see what the footage is going to look like, look no further than Atomos Shogun Connect. My account is through Frame.io. I think you can get it somewhere else, but my account is through Frame.io, and it sends the files up very fast because it is on Wi-Fi 6. So if you have a pretty good Wi-Fi connection, expect your files to be uploaded. I don't want to say instantaneously, but damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about there. I'm not even gonna hold you. So currently testing out the Atomos Shogun Connect, and right now, as you all can see, like that connected to cloud. So what this does is when you record a file on this, it takes that file instantly, throws it up to the cloud. So if you have an editor like back home and they want to start working the footage while you're shooting a project, it will be right here uploaded the moment you stop recording here. So let me just give you an example. Hit record, blah, 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 blah. Let it run for a little bit, and you hit stop. Then you're going to see this change, and it's going to let you know there's one file remaining to upload, which is 24 megabits, and it's uploading the proxy files of this, right? So once it's done uploading, you're going to get like another green circle, let you know that it's being uploaded, and you're good to go. Now your editor can download it and get to work. So it's already done. Literally, it's already done in the midst of us talking, and boom, there it is. It's going to populate right here on the screen. That's fire, Atomos. The next pro about this is going to be the beautiful display. So as you all can see here, I don't have a camera connected to it, but the display goes up to 2000 nits. It is very bright, very, very, very viewable outdoors. I had no problems looking at this monitor outdoors at all whatsoever. It's color accurate. When I'm looking at my LUTs and everything I'm looking at my camera, it matches what I'm seeing on this monitor. So that's great. Like to me, it looks like this monitor was calibrated right out of the box. So I'm very happy with that because on my Ninja V, I actually had to calibrate that when I got it out of the box. Now, before we go on to the next pro, I do want to say this. If you own something like a Shogun Inferno, right, and you're like, hey, is it worth me upgrading from that, that Shogun? Is it worth me upgrading from this Shogun to that Shogun? Now, just out the gate, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, because of one, like even when you're trying to get your barrel connector out of this here, like this little thing here, right? When you're twisting it, it's kind of sometimes hard to get it out because like the way this is ridged up and it's kind of hard to like unplug it. So that's number 1. Number 2, this cable actually comes with the cable that comes with the Shogun, the new Shogun is actually USB-C. So meaning if you kind of like running low on power and you have a power bank that supports power delivery, this bad boy can support that. The HDMI ports are on the back versus the side. That could be either or. I don't really have a preference. I really can go either way with that. You do have less SDI connections. We're talking about going like this. The Shogun Connect has 2 SDIs, and the Shogun Inferno, the Shogun Inferno actually has 6. So we're talking about like a substantial less amount of SDI ports. But however, if you're not somebody who's need that many SDI ports like myself, then that may not be a big issue for you. But to me, the main reason that you would want to upgrade from the Inferno from this is because of the OS. Now, Atomos OS 11, if I remember correctly, is a huge overhaul between the Atomos Shogun Inferno and the Ninja V. I really do like the new way they have the new software is set up on this on this particular monitor, right? It's very easy to navigate. All the buttons, like this is how the new buttons look. And it's very reminiscent to the old OS, like the Atomos Ninja V and stuff like that. But I feel like it's just like a little bit more cleaner. And like having this gear wheel, like if you select something to make changes, I do love that as well. So the new OS is definitely a welcome addition to what they did to the Shogun Connect. And speaking of that software, it's gonna be one of my main favorite things, which is gonna be the new false color on the new Atomos OS. Listen, first of all, if y'all like me, I hated the way they did false color on the Ninja V, right? I'm gonna talk to the Ninja V specifically on this. I hated the way they did false color on the Ninja V because you really can never tell like where you were at with the color ranges. There's just way too many bars. The new OS definitely addresses that, but they also offer you EL Zone and RE false color as well. I love EL Zone because it's giving you the direct, it's almost like a spot meter for your camera because of the color pipeline that you're putting it in. Once you put it in S-Log3, obviously we're filming on Sony, it's gonna give you exactly what 18% middle grade will be when you're using that, you know, when you're using that false color. And when you turn the LUT off, you'll be able to, and then obviously when you turn the LUT off, it adjusted that to kind of show you the true measuring of lights and stops of light that is hitting your subject's face to let you know how much room you have. So I love, when I say I love EL Zone, new false color, everything about that, they got that, baby. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Atomos, for real. Like, huge welcome addition. And for those who don't know what EL Zone is, it was created by a cinematographer named Ed Lockman. Go look it up. Okay, it's just a better way to measure light. So instead of you saying like, so essentially like when you're like looking at your exposure and you're trying to see how much stops of light you need, EL Zone would tell you that, right? Instead of it saying like 48 and range of 55 and all this, it would tell you if you are looking to get like one more full stop, a half stop, EL Zone tells you how many stops of light is essentially hitting your subject, and it lets you know how many more stops of light you need to bring it to a certain point. So again, the false color compared to the Ninja V, it's not even close. Or the Shogun Inferno, not even close. A next pro for me is the fact that you can actually control the fans on this. So let's say if you are recording a movie like I was, being able to control these fans would be great. Now I forgot that I can do that. So, you know, the sound guy was totally cool. He's like, it's fine, it's a little loud, but we'll get over it, you know what I mean? But you do have the ability to control the fans or auto or turn them off completely. I would not do that because of this big old heat thing here, but the option is there, which is great. I love options, you know what I'm saying? Let me choose that for myself. Now, then another great pro for this is gonna be the recording option. So let's just say if you're somebody who can't afford like a lot of SD cards, but you are doing like a lot of recording, you want higher bit size, you want higher recording file sizes or more data in your recording, you got ProRes that goes up to 8K, 6K, H.265, H.264, Avid, DNX, HQX. I mean, like any codec essentially that you can name, obviously besides Blackmagic, this recorder can do. And I think that that's a great thing for somebody who has like a lot of SSDs, and the caddies are very cheap to order. If you don't want to kind of spend like a whole bunch of money on SD cards, an SSD is actually cheaper. Like the price per dollar per storage, if you do the math on that, it's actually cheaper to get an SSD than it is to get like, you know, for on this camera, I have a 1 terabyte Angelbird Type A card. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely better to go ahead and get you an SSD, which is like $100 versus this terabyte card, which was $500. You feel what I'm saying? So from that alone, if you're somebody who's not trying to spend like a whole bunch of money on storage, boom, another great recorder for you. And the last pro for me is because of how big and beautiful this display is, it's gonna be that it's great to be a director's monitor. Now, the movie I was directing, producing, and DPing for, the actual director, I was kind of co-directing this with her. The actual director needed something to be like a little bit more nimble, so we would use this monitor for director's monitor at times. Like I switch it off, go to the Ninja V, and then use this as a director's monitor, just so she can get a clear indication of what's being recorded, big beautiful display. And it was just great to have mobile, right? Because sometimes you don't always need a video village, and sometimes a director, they, you know, if you don't want them on your shoulders, that's great. But if you still kind of want, they still want to kind of be around on set, that's what this is for. Okay, so it's a phenomenal director's monitor. Okay, now with all that being said, I do want to say this. Number one, if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up if you help with the channel. But number two, you know, with all those pros there, if you like, it really don't matter what the cons are. Already give me this monitor now. Cool. The link is down in the description below to check that out. Now, here are the cons, and these cons for me is like, okay, we got a little more work to do though. All right, here we go. Number one, quality control. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little bit embarrassed, a little bit irritated because as I was taking this monitor out the bag, I noticed my Shogun Connect sticker. First of all, I said sticker was kind of like crooked. I'm like, why is this crooked? Next thing you know, I look up, it's gone. The sound guy hands me the sticker saying, hey, I think this fell off your Atomos. Whoa, wait a minute. I know you did not just hand me something that fell off this $1,000 monitor. You know what I'm saying? So I was definitely like, okay. Okay. Number two, dealing with, as I spoke before, the OS is beautiful. I love the new software, but if you are somebody who's doing a production and you're doing multiple takes, and let's just say your director wants to look at playback, navigating this wasn't an issue. It was more so going from playback to back to recording. There was definitely a delay, and sometimes the delay, it's just like, you don't really want delays when you're already doing production, you're already behind. So the project I was working on, our gaffer canceled on us 4 minutes before we was actually supposed to start filming. We was missing PAs. We was down to makeup artists. Like, we don't have time for any slowdown, any hiccups. And every time I need to review playback, and this goes along with the Ninja V as well, just something I noticed about Atomos products is that when you're trying to go from playback back to record, there's gonna be a delay, and the delay can last sometimes about 10 to 15 seconds. After a while, that adds up. And it's like, okay, bro, like, can we get going? Can we get going? You know what I mean? So that was definitely a huge issue for me. I'm not gonna hold y'all on that. Now, like I told you all before, with the price of this monitor, listen, I think this monitor should have came with a case. I'm not gonna lie to you, because this is not something that you could easily pack up and go. Basically, based off these antennas right here, as you all can see, you can't pack this in a bag safely and think you're gonna be fine, because these are gonna break. It's not like these things are like, they're antennas. Anybody knows who've used antennas on any type of unit such as this or transmitters know that these antennas are flimsy as hell. So I would have preferred them to come with a case, like a hard case for the price that you're paying, just so these things can be securely put in place and you can keep your antennas on there, versus for setup time. Now, if you are doing camera cloud, this is something else that you have to keep in mind, that you have to screw on 3 antennas on this device. So I think for the price, this thing should definitely come with a hard case. Next con, it's too heavy. Okay, it's too heavy. It's heavy. Like, so on the rig that you all are seeing me use this on, it added some weight to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's heavy. Like, I don't know any way to put that. Like, it will definitely like kind of weigh your system down. Like, and you put like a Sony MPF battery on it, something like one of these chunky boys right here. You put one of these joints on it. Oh man, listen, dog. Even with an easy rig, right? Keep in mind, before you put the easy rig on, attach this, you gotta like pick up the camera. And I go to the gym, you know what I'm saying, 4 days a week, and I lift weights, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I get busy, so it ain't like I'm a weak dude, it's just, this month it adds some weight. So if you are somebody who's like trying to, like, I don't know, let's just say you're trying to hook this up on the side of a gimbal or like anything, just know when you add this device on your device, it's gonna weigh it down, for sure. Next con, like most Ninja V and Atomos product, is a battery drainer. This thing's eat through batteries like a fat kid loves cake. Like, I don't know, like, it eats through batteries. Like right now, let's see. Okay, like right now it ain't doing too bad. It's really not. Like, we only dropped 5%. However, I'm not recording. I'm not really using it. It's just like shown on display. And even with that, we just dropped the percent again. Even with that, we've dropped down 6% with this thing just sitting here. So yeah, it be hungry. It be hungry. It's gonna, if you are running a V-mount system with the transmitter and stuff like that. So essentially, I can tell you right now, this is a 99 watt-hour battery, right? And I'm trying to show it to y'all so y'all can kind of see the battery I use. Which, by the way, if you all are interested in this battery here, I love this battery. I highly recommend this battery. Fast charging, everything, cool. This battery lasted us about, I say 2.5 hours with this setup, transmitter, recording, and powering the camera. You know what I mean? So when I did with the Ninja V, I got like 3.5 to 4 hours on one battery. So yeah, it's not double the size of the Ninja V, but it drains battery. Okay, now my huge gripe, a huge issue, and this may not be on Atomos' fault. However, you all, Sony is a huge camera brand, Atomos is a huge monitor brand. You all should be able to talk to each other. The huge con for me, before we get to that con, that's a big con, that's a major con. Let's switch it up real quick. The next con I want to go to is, like, you can like use remote view on this here, right? And it comes with like your account, but it has credits. And if you run out of credits, even to view it from your phone, I said your phone, okay? You gotta pay. After you run out of credits, you need to pay to use remote view on the Atomos Shogun. Okay, now, this is the last con for me. The huge con, I take a sip of wine on that one. A huge con for me was the fact that this monitor does not play well with a Sony FX3 using Cine EI. Listen, essentially, plain and simply put, you can't record 4K when using Cine EI on an FX3 or the FX30. Like, it only lets you do HD recording, 1080p recording. So keep in mind, all that battery usage and shit that it was burning through, it was burning through just recording 1080p files and proxy files, send them to the cloud. Not 4K, but 1080p. Okay? Because Cine EI doesn't work with it. And I don't know if it's because of Cine EI or just the OS in general, but we was having situations where it kept freezing on me. Like if I'm trying to like go from playback, or I have to unplug the cable to make sure it recognizes Cine EI, and you know, I have to turn the monitor off, turn the camera on to make sure that it recognizes, make sure it's in the right frame rate. Sometimes I would turn on Cine EI. I would, you know what I mean? I would have to still be, what's the word I'm looking for? I would still have to like make sure it wasn't in 60p, because sometimes the monitor be in 60p when I turn my camera on and off. So that was a thing. Or sometimes it just, you know, it'll freeze up on me. Now this could just be my unit. This just could be my unit for the OS issues. However, these are things I think you should definitely be aware of. There's the same thing with the Ninja V. Atomos products do not perform well with Sony log, right? And what I mean by that, like Cine EI. So if you have an FX line of camera that uses Cine EI, you will not be able to use 4K recording on the Atomos product unless you're recording ProRes RAW. That is the only time that you could use 4K recording and use Cine EI. Well, I mean, I guess you really not use Cine EI when you're in RAW, I think, right? You're using S-Log3, but nonetheless, this does not respond well to Cine EI. So those are like, to me, that's a huge thing for me, because this is my main camera. And if I want to use Cine EI and still recording 4K, I can't do it. I got to use like standard, you know, ISO performance, you know, and I could use it at 640 and 12,800. Yeah, you could use it with that, but not Cine EI. And to me, that's just a huge missed opportunity. And I really hope Sony and Atomos talk to each other and get that situated sooner rather than later, right? So I'm not going to sit here and be like, all right, yeah, man, listen, go buy this product right now. This is what you need. I'm not going to do that shit. Like, you're an adult. Okay, if you are feeling like you need a recorder with this specific false color, with the EL zone or RE false color, if you're looking for a system that does camera to cloud like nobody else's business, you feel what I'm saying? Like, that does it exceptionally well. I would say the huge takeaway for me by using this monitor is that it does camera to cloud exceptionally well. Like, going from the camera to frame.io was, like I said, damn near instantaneously. If you're looking for a recorder where you don't have to buy like a whole bunch of SDs and you want to sit there and use something like, I mean, if you don't want to buy a whole bunch of SD cards, you want to buy SSDs because they're cheaper, this is exceptionally well for that. If you are able to work through the cons of the ones that I just listed, this is exceptionally well for that. However, it does have shortcomings that, you know, does hinder my workflow. So I am curious, for those who do own this product, have you experienced some of the issues that I've had with it? Or, you know, has it been all sunshine and rainbows while you've been using this product? I don't know. Just let me know down in the comments below, man. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Again, make sure y'all follow me everywhere at Brookssmedia with 2 S's. If you ain't at the S, you ain't spelling it right. Deuces.